everybody. Welcome, welcome. Can you hear me over on TikTok? If you could give me a thumbs up or something, I want to make sure my volume is working this morning and it's sounding nice. Good morning, everybody over on YouTube as well. Hope everybody's having a fabulous day. Happy Wednesday. Look at that lime color. Isn't that beautiful? I'm just loving these colors. I've been so excited about working with this yarn. So the yarn that I'm using today is a Big Scoop of Love Lion Brand ice cream yarn. And this is a 3-weight acrylic, 100% acrylic. And it's a big skein. Look at that big ball. So there's definitely enough here to do a full blanket. And anyhow, so I just sat down and started putting some stitches together. There's no pattern. This just kind of came from my brain. But I think it looks like little lime twist or citrus twist, but little fun twisty stitches. So anyhow, that's what I'm working on this morning. So I'm going to show you all kind of what I'm doing and how I'm making these little twists. It looks a lot more complicated than it is, like with all crochet. It's just kind of all an illusion. So good morning, Kimberly. Sonia is here. Good morning, Anvil. Welcome, welcome. Mama Wheeler is in the house. I hope everybody's having a marvelous Wednesday. I can't believe it's already Wednesday. This week is just flying by. So as we look at these stitches, the row that I'm doing right now is one of these new stitches that I'm really enjoying. This is a half double slip stitch. So I'm going to work this half double and then I'm going to turn my work and go back the other direction. And then I'm going to start working on one of these twists. We're doing a stack of 3 of these. So right now, as we kind of get this morning rolling and get to chatting here, I'm just going to work on this half double slip stitch. But I hope everybody's having a marvelous day. Hook size this morning, it calls for an H8 on this ice cream yarn. However, my preference is the G6. This is my lucky 29 center. I wish Mama Wheeler would find some more of these, but they're hard to find. These 29 centers are my favorites. My favorite of all the antique vintage Susan Bates. So anyhow, yeah, let's get started on these stitches. Artistic Soul said, love these colors. I know it doesn't feel like kind of like wintry Christmas colors, but I didn't care. Elsie, good morning. Somebody said they're working on a baby blanket. Where'd that comment go? Oh, Artistic Soul said, I'm doing a baby blanket as well, but I'm doing the ripple stitch. Nice, nice. Yeah, like I said, I don't know that lime really goes with the holiday and the festive time of year, but you know, it's been rainy and gray for 2 days here in Alabama. One of the nice things about crochet is you can do any color any time of year. Pick yourself right out of those winter blues, right? It's foggy here this morning. And so anyhow, working on citrus, it kind of feels a little summery. Feels like I'm breaking the rules a little bit. That's okay. I like it. So anyhow, I hope everybody's having a marvelous day. Hey, Alicia, good morning. So guys, today what I'm doing is the half double slip stitch. And the texture when you work this stitch, you can see this is kind of a flat stitch right now. The texture is all going onto the back here. So it kind of puts a little like ridge of texture. So this group of stitches I'm doing right here, I'm alternating a single crochet and then a half double slip stitch, single crochet, half double slip stitch, single crochet, half double slip stitch. So my next stitch after this row will be a single crochet. But the way that I do the half double slip stitch is I do it just like I'm going to do a half double. Okay, so I wrap my yarn around, I go through under both bars and draw up a loop. Now, normally with a half double crochet, you would yarn over and go under all 3 of these. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to take this first stitch here and we're going to drag him under these 2 stitches. And that is your slip stitch. So again, yarn over, make like you're going to do a half double, pull up that loop. Now we have three. Now again, drag this dude under these two guys. Works better if you make that little sound. Half double, don't finish it, just drag it through. Now, one of the tips I can give when we do this stitch, oh, Anvil says the mic is crackling bad. Okay, let me reset this. Just give me 1 second here, guys. How's the YouTube mic, guys? Does it sound clear over there on YouTube? Okay, Anvil, let me know how this sounds, if it's any better. So the tip that I can give you on these slip stitches is normally when I work my crochet stitches, I feel like this camera is a little tweaked there. Let me try that. I would yarn over and I go under all three like this. And when I do this, you can see I put the head of my hook facing forward. What I ran into when I started doing these slip stitches is as I was pulling this, trying to force it through, I would come up with a little roadblock. So then I was trying to like twist it and get it through. And every time I was doing it, it was really a challenge. It was just kind of frustrating. What I started doing is instead of keeping the hook forward like I normally do, I started turning my hook backwards and kind of down. When I started doing that, that worked a little better with the stitches. This stitch in the middle, the way that it comes across the back of the work here, it's kind of more at an angle. So if you put this towards the back, the head of your hook towards the back, and pull it down and through, it slides right on. Anvil said much better. Okay, great, great, great. Hey, good morning, Susan. Welcome. Thank you guys all for the hearts that I see flying up the screen this morning. And thank you for the thumbs up over on YouTube. I appreciate that. Um, it's, I think it's going to be a sunny day here in Alabama. I can see the sun is starting to shine in the windows here. I'm kind of excited. Last night was super foggy. And for those that are just hopping on, we're working on kind of the back of the blanket right now. This is the front. And the next row that I do is going to be one of these little twisty stitches here. So if you have time to stick around, I'm going to be doing one of those next. This row that I'm doing right now, this is the half double slip stitch. It puts all of the texture on the back. So we're working it, this is right now the front, but the texture is going to go out the back. And so the way that we do this is we yarn over, go down under both bars, grab up a loop, just like you're going to do a half double. Now, instead of doing a half double where you yarn over and pull through all these, I'm taking this loop here and I'm dragging it under these two and just letting those two stitches slide on top of that stitch. And that's all I'm doing the whole way for this stitch is just a very simple half double slip stitch. I know this is a new stitch for some people, but let's see. Miss Mary says I'm doing back post double crochet. Listening to you as I started doing a back post half double. Yeah, I've been told I have one of those voices that it could put you to sleep. Somebody was saying the other day they were listening to me and started dozing off. So kind of funny. um, Coloring Zone, I come on typically at 7 o'clock Central Time. And I stay on until 8:30. So for those that are new followers, welcome everyone. I'm seeing lots of new faces popping up here over on TikTok. I am glad that you found me. And for those that don't know, my name is April. And like I said, I come on every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday mornings at 7 Central Time. I am live this morning both on YouTube and on TikTok. My handle is the same for both. I also have a Lemon8 account that I have created. So I encourage y'all to find me at all the different spots. And I would love it if you could give me a follow. Um, I am working really hard to try to get to 10,000 over here on TikTok, but I don't think it's possible by year end. I was chatting with Anvil about it. It's going to be a bit of a stretch, but I would love it if you're watching on the For You page. If you want to give me a follow, that would be marvelous. We have a fabulous group of people here, and Anvil is one of our moderators, along with Gen X, and they do an outstanding job of keeping me on track, if I'm being honest. So, anyhow, Michelle said your voice is relaxing, and I also end up falling asleep sometimes. Yeah, I have sometimes audiobooks will do that to me. Um, the gal that did the Cave Bear series, I would put her on, and if I was in the right like frame of mind, I would fall right asleep. I had to be sure and set the timer. She had a voice that kind of lulled you. I do like that. I think that's kind of cool. Queen 530, good morning. Thank you for the gifts this morning. Little TikToks, very cute. But yeah, good morning, everybody who's coming on. I hope you all are having a fabulous day. And we're working on this baby blanket this morning. You can kind of see this is the citrus twist. Right now we're working on the back, but I'm going to be switching here very soon, and I'm going to be starting to work on another one of these little twisty stitches. So if hopefully you can stick around for a little bit and see how I make those. But if you're not able to, you can check it out over on YT later on the next couple days or so. So anyhow, um, uh, odd vegmarette. I don't think I said that right, but I apologize. She said, "Hi, when you crochet a blanket, what kind of yarn do you think is the best yarn?" So for me, it depends on what type of blanket I'm making and who I'm making it for. So, for example, this morning I'm working with a lightweight 3 acrylic yarn for a baby blanket. It's going to be a little lightweight. Now, I would never do a 3 weight for, say, a lapgan that I'm going to put on the couch. I feel like a 4 weight is better for that. And of course, you could go all the way up to a 5 or 6 bulky weight, 6 super bulky. It's kind of your call. But if you're making a lapgan or say a bedspread or something of that nature, I would tend to recommend a 4 weight yarn. It's kind of middle of the road. It's not too bulky, it's not too thin. It's a nice. I would venture to say a 4 weight is probably the most popular weight for doing a blanket. But other people here can chime in as well and see, kind of what their thoughts are. This blanket here, I think I started with 120 chains, but don't quote me on that. So the way that I figure out my starting chains for some of these baby blankets is I go more by size. So if I was to, spread this out, you can kind of see it. Sorry, over on YouTube, it kind of cuts it off. This is how long I've got it. Okay. So what I like to do, I got this handy dandy retractable tape measure I'm very excited about. I do my chain until I get to a certain width. And I like my baby blankets to be between 30 and 36 inches. So this one you can see here, I did a starting chain that was around 28 inches. And for this particular blanket, the counts weren't really that important. I did try to make it so that my little twisty stitches were spaced apart. On the very edge here, there's 5 before you get to the twist, and then there's 4 stitches in between each one. But basically, with a 28-inch wide blanket, I could come on and put an edging that's like 2 inches all the way around, and that would make it about 32-inch size. I could go as big as a 3-inch edging, right? 3 inches on all the sides. And that would put it more like, a 30, I can't math this morning, 35, uh, 34. So that's kind of how I calculate my baby blankets, if that helps at all. And the stitch that I'm using today, right now, I'm doing a half double slip stitch. So this little stitch right here is what's called a half double slip stitch. And when you work this from the back, it puts this row of texture onto the front. So the way that I started this, I started with a starting chain, and then I did a half double crochet. Then I did a single crochet, half double slip stitch, single crochet, half double slip stitch, single crochet, half double slip stitch, single crochet. Then I did half double, single crochet, and then I'm back to the repeat. So this right here is what I'm repeating over and over and over. I was going to kind of do the twisties more up and not have this space in between. But as I was working on it, I kind of felt like it needed this little row of like space kind of definition to kind of set apart the little twist. So right now, like I said, I'm doing the half double slip stitch. So the way that I do that is I'm working it from the back, and I make it go exactly like I'm going to do a half double. So I go under both bars, grab up a loop. So we have 3 on our hook, just like we were going to do a half double. Now with the half double, I would yarn over and pull through. Instead, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take this very first stitch here, and I'm going to slide it under these 2 stitches. When I do that, it puts this little ridge of texture on the other side of the work. So this is basically kind of like replacing a single crochet. But again, yarn over, go under both bars, grab up a loop, drag the first stitch under the first 2. It just slides right on. And one of the things I noticed, my little tip for this, as you guys are doing this stitch, normally when I crochet my head of my hook, I put it forward. This kind of becomes a roadblock block. The way that this stitch comes across the back, I found it works better if you put your hook backwards and kind of pull it down and through. So that's the motion that I'm utilizing as I'm making these stitches, kind of down and through. And then at that point, they just slide right on. So I'm just working my way to the other side of the blanket here, and then I'm going to be turning my work, and then we're going to start a row of single crochets and work our little twisty stitches. I had seen the half double move, but when I saw you're doing the slip stitch move and got confused. Yeah, this is a half double slip stitch. So you make like you're going to do a half double. So I go under both bars, grab up a loop, but I don't finish this. I just pull this first stitch under these 2 and slide it right on through. So it's called a half double slip stitch. It's just a little different type of stitch to add a unique little texture to the blanket. You could probably even do a half double. Like I said, there's really no pattern for this. I just sat down and started crocheting. So I'm at the end of my work here. I ended with a half double slip stitch. I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to turn my work. Now I am not counting this as a stitch. Into this first stitch, I'm doing a single crochet. And then I'm going to work 4 more. Why is this so off? Hang on one second. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have an extra stitch here, guys. Sorry, let me pull one of these out. Okay, chain 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's right now. Okay, so in this, I'm not counting this turning chain as a stitch. I'm going into the first stitch and I'm doing a single crochet. I'm going to do a total of 5 single crochets. Here's number 3, number 4, and number 5. Now, when I do these twisty stitches, it's kind of an illusion that they're a twist. So what I'm doing, if I move this stitch to the side, in stitch number 6, if we count these here, here's the little post, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's number 6. I'm putting a treble, front post treble crochet, and that stitch kind of sits behind this post that we did. So if we come over here, in this row here of, I'm looking to the row below of these stitches. So if I look right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is number 6 right here. So what I'm doing is I'm wrapping my yarn around twice, and we're going to do these a few times, guys. I put this stitch to the side. I look for that post, and then I go behind the post, and I'm putting a treble, front post treble crochet. When I do that, it basically pushes that stitch, this stitch to the side, and places this one kind of behind and other underneath. So it gives it this twisting effect, but it's just an illusion. It's all it is a front post treble crochet. It's all about the placement. Now, when I did this stitch, if we look behind this stitch right here, I'm going to skip that one because that is what this stitch is. Into the next one, I'm going to do a single crochet. And I'm going to do a total of 4 of these as I move to the next stitch. So here's number 3, and here is number 4. So again here, now I'm looking at the row below, and I'm going to count these little posts here. This was a row of single crochets right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is number 5 right here. So again, I'm going to wrap my yarn around twice, pull this guy to the side. You can push him to the side with your crochet hook. Go behind that post. So the post is sitting on top of my work. Yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. So again, this is a front post treble crochet, but then when you go back and straighten this up, it gives the illusion that this is twisting around each other, even though it's not. Now, again, the stitch immediately behind here, we're going to skip that one. Into the next single crochet, we're going to do that a total of 4 times. 2, 3, and 4. So now again, looking to the row below where I'm going to place this, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's number 5. That's where I need to place my stitch. So wrap my yarn around twice, push this dude to the side, go underneath that post, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Immediately behind, skip this stitch. Now into the next, we're going to place our single crochet. 1, number 2, 3, and number 4. Hey, good morning, everybody. Marie, good morning. So there you can see the new twist. This is the one I just added, but they're starting to take shape on this. Pretty cool. Hey, Tracy, good morning. When you crochet with Chanel, is it the same with yarn? So, Lael, when you crochet with Chanel, it's very, very slippery. And a lot of people don't like working with Chanel just because it presents a real challenge as you're crocheting. Because it does, your stitches tend to slide around. And the other thing it does is it kind of does this puckering thing. It tends to not hold its shape. So a lot of people kind of steer away from Chanel. If you're a beginner crocheter, I would definitely not recommend that yarn as a beginner. I don't know where you're at on your crochet journey, but that's my take on it. Let's see. How do you start your new row? So I just started with a single crochet. So I, in the corner here, I did a single crochet, and I just am working. All I'm doing on this row, guys, is I'm working a single crochet all the way across, but I'm incorporating these little front post stitches. So it's just giving it some texture. But like I said, it's really all just kind of an illusion. Hey Jessa, good morning. Leo said, I accidentally bought Chanel for my first yarn, so I'm going to buy some more today. Yeah, save your Chanel, because if you're down the road, you'll probably be able to use it. But I would recommend just save it. Don't use that yarn for your very first project. Now I'm going to work on a project tomorrow, which you beginners might enjoy. This is the twist ear warmer. I don't know if you're in a cold part of the country, but I am going to be making these tomorrow on the live. And this yarn that I used is a 6 super bulky. And I'm doing very easy. This looks like it's complicated with all these little ridges, if you guys can see that. It's again, another just illusion. All I did was half doubles. It's all about the placement. And the yarn that I used for this, now you could use a 4-weight as well, but I used this Bernat Symphony, and it is a 6-weight bulky. But like I said, you could use it as a 4-weight. So this is a very small, easy beginner project that we're going to do tomorrow. But I would recommend typically just if you're a brand new crocheter, any kind of 4-weight. If you have a, Michael's or Joann's or something like that that's close to you, by all means, you could go to one of those. If you don't, just go to Wally World. You could pick up some Red Heart Super Saver. They have some Mainstays 4-weight acrylic. When you're looking for yarn, if you're new to crochet, you look at the label, okay? It will tell you on your label what the weight is. So this is a 3-weight. What I would recommend is a 4-weight. So if you look at this roll of Hobby Lobby yarn, you can see here, this is a little smaller print, but right here it says 4 medium. And then right next door, it tells you what size hook to use. So you're using a US I9 5.5 millimeter. So if I'm buying this yarn, I would buy that corresponding hook if I did not have one. Now for this one, it calls for a H8 5 millimeter. Now, being the rule breaker that I am, I'm using a G6. I'm using a smaller hook on this. But if I was brand new buying this 3-weight, I would look for this hook to go with it. I would not recommend a 3-weight though for a beginner. It's a little thin. It takes a lot longer to work up. The size of these stitches you can see are very small. This here that we were working on yesterday, this is your 4-weight yarn. Can you see the difference in the stitch size of this? How much bigger these stitches are than your 3-weight? It's a substantial difference. So when you're working with a 4-weight, this will work up quicker than say this little baby blanket that I'm doing. It takes me a long time to make these baby blankets because of how small the stitches are. So I hope that helps a little bit. Uh, Barbie said, "I love those colors." I know, isn't it fabulous? This colorway, guys, is called Limeade. This is the ice cream big scoop of love. Big scoop of love. I love it. I have a bunch of other colors I got of this as well. So this is you'll start seeing more projects of this yarn as I work on more baby blankets. So I'm ready to do another one of the little twisty stitches. So again, I'm looking to this row here below, and I'm going to count the stitches. I'm looking specifically for these little posts right here. I'm going to be doing a front post. So I do 1, 2, 3, 4. This is number 5. Into number 5, I'm going to do a front post treble crochet. So I wrap my yarn around twice. I go down underneath. I move this little stitch to the side, and I go underneath that post. Then I grab up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That is a front post treble crochet. Now I put my work forward. See this little stitch here? I'm going to skip that one. That is where this one goes. And then into the next one, I'm going to do a single crochet, and I'm going to work 4 single crochets until I get to the next spot here. So here is number 4. Now again, looking to the row below, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's number 5. Now, guys, I kind of hold my thumb and my finger here. These are like my markers that I'm kind of using these as to identify where I'm going. I don't move these fingers. I wrap my yarn around twice. Now I move my thumb. This finger is still back here, kind of pointing the direction. So I'm feeling around for my finger and then that stitch that I go underneath. So he's helping to guide the position, okay? I yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And I think I may have, am I doing trebles on these? I can't remember if I'm doing trebles or doubles. I think I'm doing trebles. I think it's right. Oh, goodness gracious. I put these projects down and then it's like, what was I doing? Okay, so again, I'm going to skip this one because this is where this treble goes. Now into the next one, I'm doing a single crochet and I'm going to do a total of 4 of these. Here's number 2, 3, and 4. Now again, I'm looking for the row below here. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's number 5. So again, front post treble, wrap my yarn around twice, move this post to the side, find your post you're going behind, pop your hook under, yarn over, grab up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, front post treble. Put my work forward, skip this one, into the next one, single crochet. Here's number 2. We need 4 total, 3 and 4. Now again, I'm ready for that treble stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is stitch number 5 here. Wrap my yarn around twice, use my hook to move this dude to the side, go right underneath with my hook. The post is sitting on top of my hook. Grab a loop, pull it up, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Front post treble. Skip the one directly behind into the next, single crochet. Total of 4 of these. Here's number 2, number 3, and number 4. So there you can see those stitches taking shape. It's having a hard time focusing over here on TikTok. I don't know why it does that sometimes, but hopefully y'all can see the texture. It's pretty neat. Okay, so now we're going to continue on here. Katie said, yeah, that yarn though. Ooh, isn't it beautiful? It's so pretty. I really dig it. Like I said, it doesn't feel very wintry, but Okay, so here's our stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's number 5. I'm going to do my front post treble, wrap my yarn around twice, use my hook, push this stitch to the side, go underneath that post, grab up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. There's our stitch we're going to skip into the next with a single crochet. Here's number 2, 3, and 4. Again, looking to the row below. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's number 5. Yarn over twice. Now we have 3 loops. Go down underneath. Push this stitch to the side. Find that number 5 stitch. Go underneath. Grab up a loop. Yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. So again, it looks like they're twisting around each other, but they're not. It's simply because by going underneath this stitch here, I'm forcing it to kind of crawl like that. So just an illusion. 18 new messages. Goodness gracious, guys. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up this morning. Let's see. Leo said, awesome, thank you. I don't have anyone to really learn from, so I'll keep turning into your channel. Yes, thank you, thank you. Um, we come on every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday mornings if you're a new follower here on TikTok or over on YouTube. And for those that don't know, my name is April, but we have a marvelous community here. I started going live. My first time was January 5th. I'm not an expert crocheter. I'm just a hobby crocheter. I have a 9 to 5 job, so I stay on until about 8:30 every morning. Well, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then I hop off and I go do my real job. So I just come on here to maybe inspire somebody to get into crochet and kind of share, the stitches that I'm doing and projects. And it's not just me. We have a marvelous little community here. Mama Wheeler says it reminds me of a margarita. Mama Wheeler is my mom, for those that don't know. She pops on here and says hello every now and then and watches me crochet. Now, Mama Wheeler, I have to brag on my mom a little bit. So, Mama Wheeler really thought she would never probably pick up a crochet hook again. Now, realize I learned from Mama Wheeler and my grandma. My grandma is no longer with us. One, two, three, four, five. And anyhow, over the weekend, Mama Wheeler was talking. We were talking, and she was wanted to get some yarn, and I was like, "Well, what are you getting yarn for, Mom?" This is the gal who said I'm probably never going to crochet again. She's going to start a crochet blanket. I'm very excited. She's down in Florida. One, two, three, four, five. And she picked out a tan and a blue yarn. And she's going to make kind of a wave themed blanket. And I'm super duper excited for her. And I'm kind of proud too that I have influenced even my mama enough to pick up her crochet hook and get back into crochet. Because, guys, seriously, I never thought this day would come. So, anyhow, 3 cheers for Mama Wheeler, who's getting back into crochet. Very, very exciting. Barbie says, I'm looking for a yarn for a neutral baby blanket for a coworker. So, I don't know how neutral you would want, but um, this is a blanket that I was working on. If you like the kind of browns, this is Lion brand. That's the back I'm showing you. Let me turn it around. This is kind of a variegated yarn, but this is called. This is also Lion brand. This is the I believe it's coffee, but it looks like that. So something like that is kind of nice if you're looking for a neutral color. So anything that you find that's kind of variegated like this will work up nice with neutral colors, in my opinion. Um, oh yeah, Anvil just said the exact same thing. Thank you, Anvil. And Anvil is on the game. Let's see. Queen 530 said, April, you need a crochet logbook. I know, Queen. I have so many projects going. I can't remember half the time what the heck I was doing. I was working on this blanket over the weekend, but I've worked on like 3 other things since then. So I need to figure out what I was doing. But yes, I'm doing trebles. So these post stitches I'm doing here, these little twisties, these are front post trebles. A double was too small. I remember now. Um, Tracy said, I guess I missed it, but how did you start this project? So the way that I started with a starting chain, and then I worked in the back bump and I did a half double crochet. Then I did um I'm kind of working from the back right now. So technically this is the front of the work. This is the half double here. But what I did with this project, when you do a half double, we're going to talk about half doubles a lot tomorrow on the live, guys. But when you do half doubles have what's called a third loop. So do you see this line of texture here? This is from the third loop of your half double crochet. Here it is again, and here it is again. And like I said, we're going to talk about that a lot tomorrow. So basically I did a half double, then I did a single crochet, then I did a half double slip stitch, single crochet, half double slip stitch, single crochet, half double slip stitch, single crochet. Then I did another half double, single crochet, and then back to another half double. So this is the repeat right here. And I'm stacking these on top of each other. So where I'm at right now, I'm on this last row of single crochet where we're doing this third little front post. Okay, so that's where I'm at on the blanket. But like I said, I'm just repeating that all the way across. So I did 4 single crochets in between. And now on this post row below, I'm going to count these posts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Into number 5 is where I'm going to place my next half double front post, or excuse me, front post treble. Too many stitches. I wrap my yarn around twice. I use my hook to pull this stitch to the side. I'm going to go kind of behind it, and I pop my hook underneath the post of that single crochet. I yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. So when you kind of tuck that stitch behind, you can see it here, it forces it to do this little twisting action, but really it's just an illusion. There's no fancy twist about it. All it is a front post treble. It's simply the placement that's adding that illusion. Skip this one into the next. We're going to do a single crochet. Now I need 4 single crochets. Number 2, 3, and 4. Now I'm ready to do my next twisty stitch here. So again, count these 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's number 5. Again, I kind of put my middle finger here and I identify that spot. Wrap my yarn around twice, use my hook, pull this stitch to the side, put my hook underneath, grab that loop up, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So again, all it is a front post treble. It's just that because I'm sliding it kind of behind this yellow one, it's creating that illusion. Skip this one here. That is basically where this one goes. Into the next, we're going to do a single crochet. Here's number 2. We need 3 of these. Here's number 3 and number 4. Chain count, I started with, I don't know how many chains I started with, guys. I could go back and count it, but I really don't remember. So what I do when I start my baby blankets is I measure from my very starting chain here to my ending chain here is 28 inches. I like my baby blankets to be in the 20, I like that finish them to be around 32 to 36. 30 and 30, between 30 and 36 is good. So if this is 28 inches, I just love my new little retractable tape measure. So if this is 28 inches wide, then I think about what border I'm going to put on this. Now on this one, you guys remember when I did the mosaic blanket and I did that alternating front and back post that kind of looked twisted up? I'm going to do that same on this. And that border ends up being about 2-3 inches. So if I put a 3-inch border on it, it's going to be 31 inches, but keep in mind, I have another 3 inches on the other side. So it's going to put it about 34 inches wide for this baby blanket. So that's how I calculate my stitches. Hey, Amanda, good morning. Let's see. Desiree said, love that. Let's see. Sorry, guys. Let me catch up on this. I did not put anything on the Discord, guys, for this blanket because this blanket I just sat down and started crocheting. There is no pattern for this. Now, with that being said, I am live this morning both over on YouTube and on TikTok. Once I get done with this live today, it will be over on the YouTube. It usually takes 24 hours to process, and then it takes like the next day after that, I get it kind of posted up because sometimes with my work, I'm not able to work on it right away. So you will be able to come back and do these little twisty stitches over on the YouTube. Um, but the yarn that I'm using today is the Lion Brand ice cream, and it's the big scoop of love. It's a really big skein. It's 1,017 yards. 1,117 yards. These big scoops, when you buy them, there's enough to do a full baby blanket. It's really pretty. This is the colorway Limeade. This is a 3 lightweight yarn. Over on YT, there are links to this yarn, but I got this at Joann's, and it calls for an H8 hook. Today I'm using a size G6 hook. But again, Lion Brand ice cream, big scoop of love. Now, most of the ice cream yarn comes in these smaller skeins. Okay, so this is one we were doing the other day. This is not the big scoop of love. It's just called ice cream, but the yarn's exactly the same. These ones are only 394 yards, so they're much smaller. But they have lots of different flavors of this smaller ones than they do of the big scoop. But this lime color only comes in the big scoop. And so that's why I got the big scoops. I got them on sale. I think they're still on sale right now. Somebody posted over on Discord, I saw this morning, that was it Joanne's? It's 50% off. Who posted on Discord this morning about the yarn? Oh, that might have been Lefty. She might not be on here. Okay. Let's see. Sorry, guys. Let me continue reading these comments. I'm just a smidge behind. Hey, Karen. Good morning. Gen X girl is in the house. Good morning, Gen X girl. Shauna, this I'm calling it the lime twist blanket, but all these are front post treble crochets. So it's just giving the illusion that they are twisting around each other. They're really not. All it is a front post treble crochet. Let's see. Annika said, I just bought a retractable one because I was jealous. So yeah, normally for all this time I've been on the live, you guys see me, I wheel out this one and then I have to sit here and wind it back up. And I was watching Cody and uh, Glenda, Creative Grandma, and one of her gifts for this subscriber giveaway or something, she was giving away a retractable tape measure. And so I went on just on Amazon. These were just cheap. I think it came like with 8 of them, so if I lose some, I'm not like heartbroken, and hopefully it lasts. But anyhow, there was all different colors of these. I've got a whole bunch of them next to me. They have centimeters on one side, inches on the other, and yeah, you just pull it out and press the little button here and it sucks it right back in. So very cool little Christmas present for myself. Pretty exciting. The other thing I got for my little Christmas present for myself, I got this off TikTok shop. Have you guys seen these? I can't remember who who posted these on their page on TikTok, but this is kind of cool. So I haven't even opened it yet. It just came. Oh, it's got this. I see. Okay, so let's take this out. So if you guys can see this, again, like I said, I got this on TikTok, rebelstitchers.com. But basically, when you have a little scrap of yarn and you don't have the label for it, what you can do is you can take your yarn and you can place it in the slot that it is, and then you can figure out what size yarn you have. See how that one has like a little too much? So if you come down here, it's too small, but it's a worsted weight. which is 4. This is a 4 acrylic. But you fit your yarn into this little groove. I don't know if you guys can see that. So if I was to do this green, you can figure out, is it fingering? No, that's too big. Go up 1. It fits in there. That's a sport weight, which is a 3 is considered a sport. If you go up here to, the can you see the little space? So anyhow, it's like this little measuring guide gadget. It comes on a keychain. I don't get commission. I'm not selling these. I just thought it was cool. Somebody else was selling them or had the link on their page over on TikTok. So I was like, oh, that's kind of a cool gadget. I'm going to grab one of those. I don't know how much I'll use it. Most of the time I can identify by sight, but there are those times where it's kind of like, I'm not really sure, like this one. Right, this is a big. I know this is a 6 bulky, but you can kind of. So it's super bulky. It's more like a bulky 7. Anyhow, pretty cool. Okay, sorry, squirrel. Okay, sorry guys. I've totally gotten behind on the comments again. Let's see. Okay. So, for those that are just coming on, let me start at the beginning here because we've had some new followers and everybody popping on. So, I'm calling this the Lime Twist Baby Blanket. This yarn I'm using today is the Lion Brand Ice Cream Big Scoop, and it is in the colorway Limeade. Really pretty, and I'm using a size G6 hook. It calls for a H8. I always use a G6 when I use this ice cream yarn from Lion Brand. So anyhow, what I'm doing right now is I am finishing up the last little row of these twisties. So I'm basically making a repeating pattern. I just sat down and started crocheting. So you can see here, this right here is the repeat. And I'm on the 3rd section of this. I'm just going to keep repeating this section up and up and up. And so I started with a starting chain that was 28 inches long. Then I did a half double, and I'm working from the back right now. Then I did a single crochet, half double, let me come up here, half double slip stitch. Then I did a single crochet, half double slip stitch, single crochet, half double slip stitch, single crochet. I am on this row right now. When I finish this row, I'm going to do a half double, then a single crochet, then another half double. This is the repeat, okay? So the way I'm doing this last row of these stitches is in between each of these groups, I am placing 4 single crochets. Then I'm looking to the row below and I'm doing a front post treble crochet. So I count these stitches 1, 2, 3, 4. Stitch number 5, which is under this post, you can kind of see it here peeking out, is where I'm going to place this treble crochet. So I wrap my yarn around twice. I use my hook to swoosh this to the side and find the post of that number 5 stitch. I put my hook underneath the post, then I yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So basically, because I'm placing this stitch basically in the stitch before it, it is forcing it to do this little twisting action, if you will. There really is nothing twisting about it. It's just an illusion. And that's what you will find with a lot of crochet. You might look at this and say, wow, that's really cool. How did she do those twists? All it is a front post treble. Okay. It's kind of like magic. Okay. Now this stitch directly behind it, I'm going to skip. Now into this next one, I'm going to do a single crochet, and I'm going to do a total of 4 single crochets as I move to the next grouping. So here's number 3. Here is number 4. So again, looking to the row below, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here is number 5. I wrap my yarn around twice, pull this to the side so I can isolate that post, put my hook underneath the post, yarn over, grab up a loop, yarn over, pull through two, yarn over, pull through two, yarn over, pull through two. Again, front post treble. The stitch directly behind it, right here, I'm going to skip, and now into the next one, I'm going to do a single crochet. We need 4 single crochets. Here's number 2, move to the next, number 3, and move to the next, number 4. So now here we are back to our little twisty. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's number 5. Wrap my yarn around twice, pull this stitch to the side, find that post, tuck my hook underneath, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through two, yarn over, pull through two, and yarn over, pull through two. Look to the back, skip that one, into the next, single crochet, and again we need 4 of these. Here's number 2, 3, and 4. Looking to the row below, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here is number 5. Wrap my yarn around twice, pull this to the side, find that number 5 post, slide my hook underneath. The post is sitting on top of my hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through two, yarn over, pull through two, yarn over, pull through two. Again, looking to the back, skip one, into the next, single crochet. Here's number 2, and number 3, and 4. Here's our row below, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here is number 5. Again, wrap my yarn around twice. We're going to do a front post treble. Use my hook to pull that post to the side, go underneath the post of the row below, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through two, yarn over, pull through two, and yarn over, pull through two. Skip this one here, into the next, single crochet. Need a total of 4 of these. Sarah said the mic is cracking. Okay, let me reset the mic again, guys. I might have to I have another one of these. I'll try a different one tomorrow. I'm not sure why it's so cracky today. Let me know if this is any better. Okay, guys. I reconnected it. Maybe it just lost its connection or something. Okay, now into the row below here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's number 5. Wrap my yarn around twice. Pull it to the side. Pop my hook underneath that post. Grab up a loop. Yarn over, pull through two. Yarn over, pull through two. And yarn over, pull through two. Again, here is the stitch we're going to skip behind into the next with a single crochet. Yeah, it just starts crackling out of the blue. It's so weird. If you guys hear that happening, feel free to shout out. I'll just reconnect it. I don't want you to be, if I have to listen to that on something, that kind of stuff just grates on my nerves. So I'm right there with you. 1, 2, 3, 4. I want it to be nice and clear. And they're all fully charged. So I'm not sure why it's being kind of finicky. Was it crackly yesterday too? I can't remember. Kind of weird. Queen says yes, it's better. Okay, great. Okay, here's number 4. This is our last little twisty stitch here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's number 5. Wrap my yarn around twice. Pull this stitch to the side. Go underneath that post. Grab up a loop. Yarn over, pull through two. Yarn over, pull through two, and yarn over, pull through two. Now, when I got to the edge over here, these edges, I have, in between these, I have 4. On this edge, I have 5, because the 5th stitch over here is where I'm going to attach my border. So again, I still skip this one behind. Now I need 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is this little chain here. Sometimes this is hard to get on. Just wiggle your hook through there. There's number 5. Okay, so that finishes out that row. Again, all of these twists, I was kind of working, I know it's the front, but when I turn my work here, the half post is actually to the back. So now what I need to do is we're going to do what you see here, a row of half post double crochets the whole way around. When I do half doubles, I like to chain one and turn my work. So this is the back here. And I don't like to count this stitch, so I'm actually doing a half double right into this stitch as well. Okay, so that is my first stitch. Now all I'm going to do is work a half double crochet the whole way around. So the way you do a half double, I'll show you that here in just a minute. Let me work my way work away from this edge so I have a little bit more room to show you. If you're not familiar with how to do the half double, but very easy. This whole row is just half double crochets. So I just kind of wanted these half doubles to break up the look of the twisties, right? Okay, so the way that we do our half double crochets, if you're new to crochet, we wrap our yarn around. When you're working I'm on the back here, you kind of have to turn your work to the side a little bit to see those top of your stitches. But when you look at crochet stitches, there's always two bars. So as we look here, you can see there's these two little bars. They kind of look like a sideways V. Hey, Macy. I've been missing you, Macy. I mentioned you on the live yesterday, but I hope you're doing okay. Macy, guys, moderates our Discord for us, but she's been doing some physical therapy. She was in a really bad car accident, and so she's kind of working through that. But we love Miss Macy. I'm glad you're here this morning, Macy. I'm sorry you've had a hard week, but we love you. Hugs and hugs coming your way from all of us. We're so, so glad that you are here. Pam is in the house. Pam's Beach Vibes. Pam, did you change your handle? Was it always Beach Vibes? I really like that. That's a cute little handle. I love that. Yeah, really pretty color. So this is the colors. And I just am doing these little twisty stitches here. These twisties, they're not really twist if you're just hopping on. They are just front post treble crochets. They just look like twisty stitches. But this yarn, if you're coming on, this is what it looks like. And it is the Lion brand ice cream yarn, but this is the big scoop of love. So anyhow, right now, guys, all I'm doing is a row of half double crochets. So anyhow, the way you do a half double crochet, yarn over, go down underneath both those bars. Okay, so we're going under both loops, pull up a loop, then yarn over and pull through all three. That is your half double crochet. So again, yarn over, go under both bars, grab up a loop, yarn over, and pull through all three. So a lot of times when you're looking for texture on blankets, you will do different types of stitches that will add these little texture effects. When you do a half double, these were made by doing the half double slip stitch. Half double crochets have what's called a back loop, a third loop. You'll hear it referred to. So because I'm working these on the front, this is the back of the half double, but this little line of texture you're seeing, if you can see that, these lines are naturally created from the third loop of the half double. I love the half double stitch. It's one of my favorite stitches. I just think it is so, so cool. And we're going to be doing a lot of half doubles tomorrow on the live. So if you are wondering what's on deck for tomorrow, I showed this earlier. I'm going to be making these twisty ear warmers. And all it is half double crochets. But all these lines that we have here, I did not do a single back post, front post. All I did was half double crochets, and I got this really cool texture, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that tomorrow if you don't already know. So I started watching Crystal's pattern of the ear warmer, and I was like, nah, I'm going to change this up. So anyhow, I'm excited. I want to make I sent out a lot of packages for the holidays. I got all my Christmas gifts sent off, and I want to make a couple ear warmers for myself. I have two different colors. And I want to make a ear warmer for my niece who's here in town. Obviously, I didn't have to ship out her package because she lives here by me. So we'll see her and her husband and the baby. Well, she's not really a baby anymore. I think she's almost 4 now, before the holidays. So that's what's on deck for tomorrow is ear warmers. Very easy, beginner friendly project we're doing tomorrow. So if you want to grab your yarn, I'll be on at 7 and we can make some ear warmers. And I made some for my sister-in-law. My sister-in-law left yesterday. The Florida sister, she took all the baby blankets with her. I ended up sending a total of 9 baby blankets down to the NICU for donation, and she'll hand those out for Christmas to the families that are there in the NICU as part of their donation, their blanket donation project program. So anyhow, that's I felt pretty cool. Felt pretty good about that. So one of the things, guys, I am trying to keep my stitch count. So you can see my stitch markers here of the row below. When you do these twisties, the edge of the blanket kind of tends to walk. So it kind of, even though my stitch counts are right on, it kind of tends to like want to go like crookedy, and it's because of how these stitches are pulling. So I am just double checking and I'm making sure as I'm doing these half doubles that it's not too out of whack. So if I was to count these, I think I had 25. So talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to give a quick count on this and make sure that I'm kind of on track. And I'm really not liking how this is bowing out right here. I might rip this all back and redo this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 25. It's really kind of off. I want to try to shift this over a little bit. I'm going to rip this all back. Get out those frog icons. So I'm going to cheat this a little bit because I'm really not liking how that is walking over. So the way that I'm going to do this is I put 5 stitches on the edge of this blanket here. You'll remember we skipped this one here. And what I'm going to do, because basically if you guys can kind of, I don't know if you can see this on the live. Do you see how this is kind of going at an angle? It's straight like up and down, but it's kind of lower. It's more in on this at the very bottom than it is on the top. So what I want to do is I want to try to make a compensation stitch to shift this more to the right. The way that I'm going to do that is instead of skipping this stitch in the back, I'm going to use that stitch as number 1 stitch. 2, 3, 4, and 5. So now what I have done is this stitch that I had in there before, it's now shifted over 1. And this will help to kind of pull this blanket back in and keep the edges straight. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to chain. I'm going to count this chain as my first half double crochet. And then I'm going to move to the next and do my half double. That will, again, help it be not so bulky here on the edge as we work our way across and kind of help pull it back in. Now I'm going to start working my half doubles the whole way across. So if you guys have a blanket where it starts to get a little wonky, I like to call it walking. But basically what it does when I'm doing these stitches, see how it's kind of more pulled in here than up here if we look at it straight on. It's kind of walking that way. Now, some of it is just because I haven't like pulled on it real good to get it like square, right? But there is definitely a little bit of that happening. So that's what I'm trying to compensate for. So that's my little trick. If you start getting a little off, you could kind of do something like that. But now I'm going to continue working those half doubles. And what I'm doing with my stitch markers is on these rows below, I counted 25 of my half doubles. So then when I get up here to this next row, I want to try to make sure that these stitch markers are lining up with each other. When I do this, even if I have 25 stitches, if the stitch marker is way over here, something is wrong. Something is shifting, right? And so that's what I'm trying to accommodate for. If you get a pattern online or you buy a pattern, right, the pattern maker will have adjusted things to compensate for that shift. Again, this morning, I'm not following a pattern. There's no pattern for this. I just am sitting down and throwing together some stitches. So I have to be the one that pays attention to that and tries to, straighten it out if we start having some weird shifting happening. So, okay, here we are. I've kind of made it now past these stitch markers, right? You can kind of see them lined up here. So when I do this next stitch marker, I need it to kind of be in this vicinity, right? So let's count and see how we're doing on this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's still pretty shifted over. But like I said, again, that could just be because my blanket is not squared up. So it's not horrible. But what I'm going to do now is I am going to pop in another stitch marker here into this number 25 stitch. So, it's not exactly, it's a little bit to the right, but I don't think it's horrible. I don't think it's going to be a deal breaker. So now I'm going to continue on popping in these half doubles all the way across. Now my next row is going to be a row of single crochets. So again, on my single crochets, I could make a slight shifting stitch to help kind of push these stitches back in line with where I need them to be. And again, I'll kind of explain that as I'm going along, but I'm just trying to share some of these little tips with you guys. If your blanket gets a little, out of alignment, little wonky, you can totally make some stitches to, do some adjustments. Now, sometimes you would have to completely frog back, right? And just go ahead and call it what it is and rip out till you find where you made a mistake. In this case, I'm not making a mistake. It's because of how these twisted stitches are that it is causing that work to shift more to the left as I'm doing it. It's kind of a tensioning thing. Thank you for the follow. Good morning. For all the new followers that don't know me, my name is April, and I'm not a professional crocheter. I'm just a hobby crocheter. But I come on TikTok and I'm also live on YouTube this morning at 7 Central Time, and I stay on till about 8:30, at which time I hop off and I go do my real job. So anyhow, I'm glad you have found us. We have a marvelous little community here. So feel free to give a follow and come back every day. Tomorrow we're going to be working on ear warmers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Just kind of keeping my counts even here. Let me put those scissors away before I hurt myself or something. So again, I counted 25 and I'm just kind of keeping track of where these stitches are, okay? Continuing on with, I'm just doing a half double crochet right now. And like I said, once I get to the edge of this, I'm going to be turning my work and then we're going to do a single crochet just so we can get going back the other direction. But I do love the half double. It was interesting. I was watching Crystal the other day. I know you guys all know Crystal, right? Bag a Day Crochet. And she was saying that she hates the half double. I thought that was the most interesting comment, that she really dislikes that stitch, because I love it so much. What are your guys' thoughts on the half double crochet? Are you like Crystal, where you're like, oh, I can't stand doing that stitch? Or are you like me, like, I really love it. It's one of my favorite stitches to make. It works up fast. I can cruise along. I'm going to do a whole blanket with half doubles. I've decided, after doing my little headband test, I love doing the half double. It's so cool. I love the fact that it has the third loop. I just think the third loop is just so freaking cool. Um, and I love using the third loop. You guys have seen me use it before. It's really quite fabulous. So, like I said, tomorrow I'm going to be using that third loop a lot, and I really love it. Rosie says, I love it. It's quick and easy to work with. Mohawk says, I love the way it looks. I do too. I can't imagine why Crystal hates it so much. But I was watching, I don't remember which one I was watching. Maybe it was her new video that she put out yesterday. Yesterday she put out something called, I don't remember the exact, but it was the Royal Ridge. Excuse me. I think that was what she called it. The Royal Ridge stitch. She put out a video yesterday, and it was all half doubles, and that she was working in the third loop. Check out that video. It's kind of cool. Now, what I am going to do tomorrow is different. I'm not doing that stitch that she was doing, but her whole stitch was just half doubles, and she was placing her, when she turned, she was doing her work in the third loop. I don't like working in the third loop itself. I like working in the back loop and the third loop. So that's what I like doing. But like I said, I'm going to do some of that tomorrow. I got to count here, guys, real quick. I 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. I'm going to have to open up another batch of stitch markers. I've got too many in play right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. I'll be able to tell you guys my starting chain in a minute. After I get these, we can count it, and I can tell you how many my starting chain was. So if I look here, I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19, 20, 21. So I did 25, 25, that's 50, 25, 25, that's 100, and 21 was my starting chain. And then I did a chain one, so I did 122, and then I did my half double. Okay, so I'm going to chain one and turn my work. This is where all the fabulous texture is on, this is the front of the blanket. So when we talk about half double crochets, this little loop right here is what is called the third loop of the half double. Has anybody heard it called anything else? Um, how do you work in the third loop? So the way that you work in the third loop is the way that Crystal did hers. I'll show you guys, since we're working with half doubles. The way that Crystal did her Royal Ridge yesterday. Normally, you would work in these two top loops, okay? But this is the third loop here. And the way you would do it is, instead of going into those top loops, you go in the side here into this third loop and do your half double. So that is what is working in the third loop. When you do that, it pushes these loops of your top forward without having to do any post work. That is why it is so flipping cool. So I'll do a few more here so you guys can kind of see that ridge of texture. But if you watch Bagaday's video she released yesterday, it's called the She called it the Royal Ridge, but I mean, it's just a half double crochet. It's not a blanket or anything that she released or an official pattern. It's a stitch tutorial is what it is. So again, I'm just working in this third loop. Now, the reason why I don't like to work in the third loop alone, I will if I have to, but do you see how it kind of pulls it up? Um, I don't I like my stitches to be more secure than that, especially for a baby blanket. So basically you're just working in one of these stitches, but it's putting this texture on the opposite side of your blanket. So that is what she released yesterday, and she called it the Royal Ridge. Now, the way that I like to work these is a couple different ways. And I'm not doing this for this blanket, but I'll show you. So what I like to do is I like to do my half double. I go under this one, but also the front one that's facing me. So I go under both. So I wrap my yarn around, I go under this one, but I also go under the top one. And like I said, I'm not doing this for this particular pattern, but this is the one of the ways that I love to work the half double. So it looks different than the way that Crystal was doing it, in that I will only have one loop that is pushed forward like this. So it makes it more of a line. And that's what I get when I work in both. So the other way that you could do it is if you go back the other direction. Let me do a couple more of these. I just feel like the half double is a great way for me to add texture to like baby blankets without like having to follow patterns and stuff, right? So let me change. I'm going to rip this back out, but I'll kind of give you guys. So the other way that I like to do it is now I'll either work under both these loops, or you can work like this down as well, and that will put a ridge out the other side. So it again will put your texture out here. There's a lot of different ways I think you could work it. Um, so the other way, of course, is just to go into the top bars, which is what I'm doing. I'm going to rip this out and I'll show you. Yeah, it's very versatile. Amy said that's how I do it, April. Yeah, it's really cool. I love it. So I'm for this blanket, I'm just going under both bars with my half double. So that is what's leaving this row behind. But now I'm doing a single crochet on this row. But basically I'm just going under both bars. Okay. So when I do this with my single crochet, it is leaving the third loop facing forward, the front of my work. And it is leaving behind that row of texture without me having to do anything. I'm not having to do any post work. All I'm doing is a single crochet. But do you see this line that I'm talking about? That is your third loop from the half double that we did below. So you can see it here, you can see it here. Sometimes it's hard to see on the camera. So hopefully you guys can see that coming through. But now all I'm doing, guys, is a row of single crochets the whole way down. And I'm working under both loops. Okay. This is your third loop here, but I'm working under both loops. And just right on the top. Oops, I did a double, half double. I need to be doing a single. So Mohawk said, "Oh my god, I love this." Yeah, it's fun. I love doing these fun stitches. This is my favorite way to crochet. These guys know that, if all the OGs that have been here for a while, they know I just like to sit down and I just start crocheting, and I just start putting stitches together and creating stuff. And like I said, there's no pattern. All I'm doing is stitches. So I'm just alternating different stitches to get the look that I want, and kind of going from there. But all these little twisties are just half front post treble crochets, front post trebles. And like I said, now I'm just going to do a single crochet all the way across. 15.3 thousand Hearts. Thank you guys so much for all of the hearts over on TikTok. And if you're watching over on YT, I would love it if you could give the video a thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. It looks like we have a few people over there as well. I hope everybody is having a fabulous day. I'm just loving this lime yarn. But like I said, now tomorrow, guys, if you want to hop back on with me, I'll be on at 7 Central Time, 7 to 8:30. And I am going to be making these little ear warmers. Okay, so this is what's on deck for tomorrow. The little twisty ear warmer. Very easy, beginner friendly pattern. I'm going to be working with half doubles. So grab your yarn tomorrow. You could make one right along with me on the live. It's going to be a fun, kind of relaxing day as we wind down for our week and head into Christmas week. I can't believe Christmas is next week, guys. I mean, where has the time gone? I feel like this year has just absolutely flown by. So my schedule for next week, and I will mention this again on the live tomorrow. Christmas is on Wednesday. Christmas Eve is on Tuesday. Christmas Eve, I will be on at normal time, 7 a.m. I will be working on Christmas Eve on the Christmas blanket. Not the one I worked on yesterday, but I'm going to be working on the Christmas chevron, which is the Hugs and Kisses blanket that I'm working with the Karen Simply Soft. Some of you guys have seen me work on that one. I haven't worked on it in a while, but that is what I'm going to be working on Christmas Eve. Christmas Day, I will not be live. That is Wednesday. I am going to take the day off. Now, Thursday and Friday, our office decided to close. So I am super duper excited. I get 2 days off. So I think we'll probably end up shutting down at work maybe half day on Christmas Eve. And then we have Christmas day after and then the day after. So I'm going to get like a 5 day weekend. I'm so excited. So anyhow, that's going to make my live schedule a little more wonky for the week of Christmas. So no live on Christmas Day. The day after Christmas, which is Thursday, I normally come on at 7. I'm going to be pushing that live back till 8 o'clock. I have already made events on the calendar for TikTok and over on YT. The day after Christmas, I am going to be working on Valentine's squares. This is again my own pattern that I've come up with, but I'm going to be making these little heart squares for Valentine's Day. It's a motif that is crocheted right into the square. There's no sewing, it's all crocheted. And I'm going to be working on these the day after Christmas. I'm starting to think about Valentine's Day because I would like to make some Valentine's blankets to send to Sabre Healthcare for donation. And I just thought I have all these scraps of red from Christmas and I have a lot of pink scraps. This is a great yarn eater. So the day after Christmas, I'm going to be working on Valentine's and I'm going to start that live at 8 a.m. because I'm going to sleep in possibly a little later the day after Christmas because I don't have to work. So I'm super, super excited. So, day after Christmas, 8 a.m., hearts. And then what I'm going to do, because I do not have to work on Friday and my husband does have to work, I am going to pick a time to go live on Friday more in the afternoon. I never go on live in the afternoon typically because I'm at work. And I think I'm going to probably do 2 o'clock on the Friday after Christmas, just to kind of change things up. I have not decided what project I'm going to work on for that day, but it will be kind of a new thing where I think I went live usually after a holiday. If I have a day off and my husband is working, then I will go live because he's off at work and I can just sit here and kind of do my crochet thing. So anyhow, that is my plan for next week, being Christmas. But I hope all of you guys are winding up your Christmas crochet and getting your packages ready. I got, like I said, I got all my packages in the mail. My last thing to work on for Christmas is headbands, which I'm going to be finishing up tomorrow. And that will be all for my Christmas projects, and everything will be done at that point. So I'm feeling kind of good about it. I'm not feeling as stressed. My sister in law was here. She helped me get all my packages shipped out yesterday. So it was just a big thing. She took them all to UPS store for me, and it was just absolutely perfect. And it was a great weekend. So anyhow, if if you guys are not going to be on next week, that's totally fine. I know with the holidays, people have travel plans and you're spending time with the family. If I don't see you next week, and you are celebrating Christmas, I know not everybody celebrates Christmas. I wish you all the very happiest of holidays. I do hope I see you next week, but like I said, if I don't, that's totally fine. I know you all have lives, but I appreciate each of you being here on the live this week with me. Tomorrow we'll be on again, and I will wish you all a happy holidays again. But with that, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Anvil gave me a time check, and I will see you tomorrow for headbands. Have a great day, everybody. Bye for now.